Welcome everyone, this is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about the good side to adversity. If you are familiar with adversity is going to be talking about the struggles that you have gone through. And we all have our struggles. Now, just because my struggles might be different than your struggles, it doesn't belittle your struggles, even if I believe my struggles are greater than yours, and vice versa. So that means if your struggles are maybe growing up in poverty, abusive household, maybe you don't have parents, this could be a struggle for you. There are many different aspects to what a person can consider trauma. Some people, trauma can be someone spoke badly to you, right? Someone wasn't your friend anymore. Someone sent you a bad text and it could just send you off on a mental tangent that you weren't maybe anticipating or expecting. There are signs, but we do have to fortify our mind in order to be in the world we are today. And it's not so much that our world is bad. It's more so that we have this technology, our phones, our computers, and now we have so much information that can be given to us. And we have gone from the harsh way of upbringing to a very soft-touched approach. The generation that were, I guess, raised by the generation that pushed us and challenged us is older now, of course. But now the millennial version of the generation, something amazing happened. Well, sort of. One of the things that happened is that millennials out of, all the generations, they spend the most time with their children. I think it's something like 40 to 70%. I know it's a huge disparity, but I forget the number, but I think it's like 40 or 70% around there. So that means millennials spend more time with their children. And you know what happens typically when we're growing up or maybe when we have a family? We say this in our mind, whether it be consciously or unconsciously. We say, I want to be the parent that I didn't have, or I want to be the opposite of what my parents were. This happened to my father, not so much my mother. My dad didn't have a dad. And the only thing my dad said to himself was, I want to be there, right? I want to be a dad. I want to be the father that I never had. So even though he was present, he was absent because he was learning the process. And if you don't know the process, it's almost like a trial and error along the way. The adversity he had to go through with a single mother household is different than if someone has both parents, loving, caring. The adversity now is going to be stemming. Are we treating our children soft? Are we living in a soft world? We have things given to us from our groceries to, wait, I'm not saying that. The groceries that are given to you, you have to purchase them, right? But it's readily available. You also have a lot of opportunities, right? There's a lot there in front of you. But when we look at someone who's going through adversity, this can be that they are struggling. They are trying to make it through, and it is tough, and they have to have a strong mindset in order to get through. So there's many different aspects to adversity, and we're going to be hitting it in 3 different areas today. When you're a kid, when you're a teen, when you are an adult. Now, just because you're 21, I understand 21 is, still like a young adult. Maybe I'll separate it. But adults, once you turn, 21, heck, even when you're 18 sometimes, the law is very strict saying, hey, you're an adult now. You don't need mom. You don't need dad. You are here to do what you have to do. You have to do what's right. And we are treated as adults. So that's why I just want to kind of give it as, if you're an adult, this is what you have to do. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 21 or if you're 57. It does not matter your age. Adversity is going to be at all moments or all opportunities in our life. So let's look at how adversity can help us achieve a better and stronger mindset. All right, everyone, if you're new to the podcast, new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to share the video and or audio to help build a community of like-minded individuals who want to achieve greatness in their life. And today we're going to be looking at how adversity leads to growth. Now, you might think that, why does struggle lead to growth? Well, I talk about it in the blog. And in this article, you're going to be learning why adversity is a good thing. But off the top of our head, we might say adversity is not a good thing. I don't like adversity. I don't like going through challenges. I don't want to struggle in life. And that is where our mind fails. Because we don't grow in the moments of greatness. We grow in the moments when we are down, when we were out, and when we are struggling for our life. If you can think of all the greats, right? They have a very similar story to how, a pupil or a mentee will come into a mentor or a master, and they would tell the master or ask the master, "Master, how can I be successful?" And the master says, "Okay, well, come over here." And they go over there to the lake or to the beach or whatever, and they go into the water. And then the master puts the mentee or the pupil underneath the water. And then the pupil is fighting. And then the master says, "Okay, what do you want?" And, the guy's like, "Well, I don't know what I want." He's like, "I want to be great." And then so the master repeats the process until the pupil, the student, they say, "I want air. I want to breathe." And sometimes we have to have that desire for our breath, the thing that we take for granted, probably the most. Maybe next is like blinking or something, because, our automatic things. If we don't have a breath, we don't have life. We might not appreciate running water in our house. Maybe if you have electricity growing up, for me, we had electricity most of the time, but then there's sometimes we didn't have electricity. And then there's sometimes we didn't have heat. And I would say we didn't have heat more than we didn't have electricity. So it was one of those struggles that, me growing up in an adverse environment in the ghetto. However, now I have to look at the aspect of how I grew up and then how I correlate it to me with the next generations to come after me. Because now they're going to have a different upbringing. They're not going to go through the struggles that I went through. And that is why when we look at generational mindsets, if you haven't checked out that episode, wonderful episode, check it out. We look at why each generation says whatever they say, we are the best generation. When in reality, they are not. They are just accustomed to the times of what is current. If weakness is current, everyone is going to say, well, weakness is trending and popular. But when you have to fight, when you have to have a determined and strong mindset, that right there is going to be something that is going to be a part of the generation, a part of the system. And if the system failed, guess what would happen to the weak mindsets of the world? They would also have to go through this adversity in order to grow once again. And maybe their kids are going to be better off because of the struggles and the challenges that their parents had to face. So we can even say and go as far as, if the parent is not going through some type of struggle and the kid is not going through some type of struggle, then the next generation is going to be extremely weak. Because the struggles that we are facing, we hope, right? I would hope you don't allow for a long term. Now, I'm not talking about the struggle going to the gym, adversity in the gym and stuff like that. I'm talking about adversity in life. Do you want to be struggling to pay your bills every single week, month, year, lifetime, right? Some people do. Some people live in the rat race. They don't know how to get out. They want to advance their career. They want to change their career. They want to change their life, but they are not doing the things necessary. We have to go through adversity, and we have to understand that it's there to help us be a better person. So with all that being said, adversity is something we need. Now, when you're young and you're a child, you might not necessarily know that you are going through the struggles, that you're going through it. And one of the things you might do when you are young is you might wish for a different situation. You might wish for a mom or a dad or a family member that loves you. You might wish for a hot meal because you have nothing to eat. Maybe you are thirsty. You will like something to drink. Maybe you have no shoes, no clothes. You would like something to wear. These struggles can make you stronger. But sometimes when these struggles occur, you're going to say, well, this is my situation. There's nothing I can do. I was born poor. I was born in poverty. I was born with nothing and I'm going to die with nothing. When in reality, if you have nothing, you can create something. We are in the mindset that we don't want to go through the hardships and the struggles. We want everything easy. If things can be easy, then guess what? Life would be better, right? Wrong. Life would not be better. I remember when I was a kid and I was in school and I would look out the window and I would just daydream of not being in school anymore. And I said, this is stupid. I want to be home, running, playing video games, doing all of these different things. And it's just so interesting how, we are trying to figure out our life. And in life, we can see the easy road. Maybe we look at other people's lives. As a kid, you can see other friends, families, and you can say, oh, why does this person have this? Why does this person do this? And when in reality, we have our upbringing and our life, and that is our only, I guess you can say, set point for us to gauge if we should be happy or not. But if we grow up in a household with adversity, and I'm not talking about the adversity that is like the bad type of adversity, like divorce and a trauma, like those types of adversity, because those things are going to be, have a very negative connotation for a very long time. Can you fix it? Yes, you can, but there's going to be a set date that you have to fix it by. Typically, if you have something happen to you when you're younger, you want to get it done within a 5 to 10 year span. Like you want to heal from it. And if you don't, it becomes your identity. You might just say, well, this is life and I'm just going to live with it. But if you keep that negativity in your mind, you're going to have a hard time being positive later on. You have some different options when you're being a parent and you have kids, right? A child should go through adversity. You might say no at the grocery store, right? They start crying, having a tantrum. I want this. No, it's not going to happen. Maybe you don't support them when they need help, like climbing something. You're like, nope, you have to climb it yourself. You wanted to climb the tree. You climb the tree. And you might think that you're a bad parent because you're not helping your baby, right? But that is important. They have to go through the struggle. I remember when my son was 1, he's trying to climb the sofa. He's not tall enough yet. Well, guess what? I'm not going to help you. And then so I taught him how to do it himself. If you can't get up yourself, get a cushion, throw it on the floor, step on the cushion, climb up. They're very intelligent. But yet, we want to give them everything. We love them. And great, right? We have to let them go through it. If they're messing around with blocks or something, right? And the blocks fall. Do they have a tantrum and start crying? Or do you say, well, we dropped the blocks, let's start over. The starting over aspect, right? The adversity, the going through the hard moments in their life. Maybe now they're in school. Math, reading, writing. This is hard. Yeah, good. You're not going to do everything for them. Yet some parents do. It's like kind of like a running joke where like a parent would do all of the homework for their kids. And then when the parent got the homework back, it was a 0. So it's funny because sometimes like in math, especially in modern day math, you have to show a certain type of formula. And, for us, we just did, our long form math. But today they have like these boxes and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy. It works and it makes sense, from, according to teachers, it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense, but I understand I didn't teach math. What I will say is that there are going to be different areas of adversity. It can be even all the way to the extreme of bullying. Yes, bullying is something that can be a good thing. I remember one time I went up to Connecticut to see my family, and I got an Uber to the gym, and the guy was telling me, because I was talking about my work, because he asked, and he basically just wanted to say that I was bullied when I was in school, and it was probably the best thing for me because it made me stronger. Because in the real world, when you are finally an adult and you're going in it, you're going to have maybe bosses, customers, employees that do not give a damn about you. And most people don't. Most people won't. And people shouldn't, actually. We can live in a moral world, but most people, they just care about themselves. How can they win? How can they be happy? It doesn't include you. Now, I'm not saying that that's everyone, but it's a good majority of the world that is going to be in this mindset. What is best for me? I'm not saying even to change it, because if you can be the best, then the world around you is going to be the best. So it's almost like a catch-22, where you still treat people with love and respect, but only to a certain degree. And then let's move it up to when we're teens. Teens is a very easy type of adversity. We are now, high school, right? Middle school, around there. And we're trying to have our peer acceptance, right? Sometimes around this time, a lot of teens are going to be going through a lot of issues in the family, sometimes divorce, maybe deaths in the family. There could be a lot of things going on in your teen years. Not saying that you're going to have a pristine teen years, and if you did, that your life is, all wrong and you're not following the plan. No, you can have good, but sometimes it's bad. There's always going to be some type of struggle. Maybe you're being made fun of because the way you talk, the way you look, the way you dress, who you hang out with. High school is an opportunity to solidify your identity. Now so much more of who do you want to be presented when you are in front of the world? Because when you're young and you are building your identity, and it's going to be very similar to what your parents want for you and the upbringing that you have. Elementary, yes, you might get some of it. Middle school, you're going to get a lot of it. But in high school, that's when you truly identify who you would like to become. Think of it as different types of groups. You have your jocks, your popular kids, your cheerleaders, your band kids, people in orchestra, choir kids, things like that. And they all gravitate toward each other because that is the groups that they're being, creating and stuff like that. And then also you have like the nerds and stuff like that. So if you hang out with the nerds, oh, you're a nerd, you're hanging out with the nerds. Or if you're hanging around, people who are like, they're not nerds, but I guess they like rock and roll and metal and stuff. So goth kids, I still think that's a relevant term for them, like goth kids and stuff, or the dark group, or I don't know. There's, again, different groups, and you associate with those different groups. And you can have adversity if you are in one group. You can do what I did and basically be a social butterfly and just go in every group. Be with the nerds, be with the basketball players, the jocks, be with the cheerleaders, hang out with everyone a little bit. And what you're going to notice is everyone is going to respect you in the sense of just, he's a neutral, figure. He's not anyone, you can identify him. Something amazing happens though when you do that too as a personality. You begin to change a lot more readily because you get to see every lens that is in front of you versus only your lens. Because when I'm working with teens, and I mean, they have issues. They don't want to go to school. They don't feel happy. They don't feel loved. They feel like they were lied to by their parents or whatever, right? There's a lot of things going on in their life, in their mind. And one of the first things I do with them is we identify what they need us to know, right? From parents, from teachers, from adult figures, right? Like, what do you need help into? And oftentimes we have to guide them through very carefully. Otherwise, they're going to come out broken. And like I said, it is going to be more difficult to fix a broken adult than it is to make sure a child is never broken. And a teen to me is still a child. Yes, you are a teen, but we do have to give you some adversity too. But the way we do it is not so much in a traumatic way that's going to hurt you, where you feel so stressed and so anxious. There's going to be good stuff and there's going to be bad stuff. The good stuff when you're a teen is when you lose a basketball game or a football game or a sports game, any game. What do you do after that? Do you just say, oh, I hate my team, I suck? Or do you say, I want to get better? That adversity helps you. If you are, in a household with your parents are always fighting and things like that, what type of adversity are you going to be going through? It's going to be different for everyone depending on your outlook. But what I can tell you is the adversity that you're going through, these challenges are going to give you the skills to handle them later if you choose to handle them. Sometimes people choose to ignore them. Yes, this is not me. They take a loss and they go, oh, well. Oh, this person doesn't like me. Oh, well. They don't figure out how to fix the things that are broken. And we do have to figure out how to fix things that are broken when we're teens, because there's a lot of things that are broken when we are an adult. So now we are an adult. We have bad employers. We have employees that don't want to do work. We have all of these bills. We have a lot of struggle in front of us. We need to get through it. Sometimes you might think that if I just had the perfect life, if I won the lotto, if I got a big inheritance, if I just got some money, right? This is the mentality of like communism, where they're like, take from the rich, give to the poor, just give everyone the same amount of money. When in reality, if you did that, what would happen is the people who have money today will have money in the next 3 months to 3 years. And everyone else who didn't have money will lose the money because the spending habits, they don't have the financial literacy. We don't learn the skills. We don't go through the adversity. If we don't go through the struggle to build something, how can we appreciate it? That's very similar to if I'm trying to build a company, it doesn't matter the company, and I give it to my kids. Guess what happens? They might maintain it, but then the next generation is not going to be there anymore. So basically, the way the generational mindsets work with adversity is if I go through the struggle of gaining something, I attain it. The generation that comes from me, my child, is going to maintain it. And their child that comes from them is going to lose it. And it's a very short cycle, right? You attain it, you maintain it, and then you lose it. However, if we learn to give adversity in each of those generations, meaning it's not given to me anymore, I have to go earn it. I'm going to keep it like I'm trying to attain it. And it stays generation after generation after generation. If you do not work for something, if you don't have skin in the game, this is what skin in the game is called, you're not going to give your 100%, your all. It's not going to be meaningful to you. What do we do about it? We need to have some type of adversity in our life. Adversity can come from, someone pushing you down. If you're a parent, you have a kid, you just push them down. You might think it's mean, but you say, get up. If they start crying because they hurt their finger or something, give them a Band-Aid and say, see you later. All right. You don't have to hug and kiss them all the time, because one day you're not going to be there to hug and kiss them. You're not going to be there to fight their battles in school when people are bullying on them. Or if they get a bad grade, you're not going to go to the teacher and say, why did my kid get a bad grade? And if you are one of those parents, you need to stop, because now your kid is not going through the hard moments in life that they should be going through, the healthy moments. And if you can't give them good adversity, the moment they go through bad adversity, they're going to fall apart. Why do you think so many adults today struggle from stress and anxiety? It's because they have not gone through the adversity that they needed in order to develop properly. So we need to look at and identify what areas in our life can we give some struggle to? What areas in our life can we give some more attention to that we can maybe make a little bit tougher? Because if we are not pushing ourselves, we are not growing. It's very similar to how if you go to the gym, you're not going to just want to lift a 2-pound weight that you know you can lift. You want to lift something that's going to be substantial, that's going to help you not only build muscle, but build mental fortitude also. So in closing, adversity leads to growth is going to be talking about the struggles that we are going to be facing in our life. Now, these struggles are going to create the experience that we need in order to understand what just happened in our life and for us to respond correctly. If we have a life that is not filled with adversity and we have a very complacent and easy life, it's going to prompt us to think that life is going to be easy and that we can be passive about life, that we can sit back on Comfort Street when in reality we have to go to Hard Street or Challenge Road and do the hard things. Consistency and resilience is going to help you in life reach the places that you want to go. If you do not know what good adversity is and you do not know how to get through struggle moments in your life, I encourage you to check out this blog, Adversity Leads to Growth. You're going to find many helpful tips in here to learn how you can give yourself some adversity in your life, in your kids' life, and then any future generation to come. So with all that being said, we might think that I'm going to go out and make my life hard. Instead of driving to work, you're going to say, I'm going to walk to work in the rain every single day. And it can make your life, again, you're going through that adversity. For me, when I was in elementary school, I had to walk to school every day. In high school, the high school was a little bit further. So I had to, again, take the bus or have my mom drive me there. This can lead to some adversity, right? Maybe you get bullied on the bus, so you don't want to go on the bus, so you have to go through that adversity. If you backtrack a little bit, now you're in elementary school, similar to my case, you have to walk every day to school. Guess what? In Connecticut, it snows, it's ice, it rains, right? No matter what, if school's open, you're going to school. So you have to walk to school in the rain. If it's snowing or it snowed the day before, you have to walk in the snow. You have to go over the ice. And I remember, we had to go up a hill. So sometimes the hill was icy and you would be slipping down the hill and stuff. And it's fun when you're a kid, but that struggle, it wasn't an easy road, right? Because I could say, oh my God, I have to go up this icy hill or I have to go outside in this cold rain. And I can say that that's that, right? But everyone is so pristine today. Oh, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to get dirty. I don't want to go ride my bike without my helmet because I'm going to bump my head. I got to wear my knee pads and my elbow pads. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be safe in our life. What I'm saying is the moments that made us strong was when we were kids getting bit by mosquitoes, drinking out of the hose. And now we need a Brita faucet, for every sink. And we have, our canteens to have some water. And we didn't have canteens growing up. If you were thirsty, you would go inside, drink from the faucet or whatever, or from the hose. That was our water source. But today, again, we are giving ourselves the easy outlet. You don't want to walk anymore, to some place that you could walk to that is literally just, maybe a mile down the road. You are like, I'm just going to get an Uber. I'm just going to get a Lyft. We take the easy road. So there's going to be things in your life that you can give yourself some struggle to. It could be as difficult as washing clothes. I'm not saying it's effective and efficient, but if you wash clothes by hands, it's different than if you put them just in the washer. And as you can see, there's a difference, right? And the difference is one is going to be a lot more difficult, more struggling, and the other one is going to be an automatic thing. We have gained a lot of time from the automatic things, from our phones, our cars, the technologies around us in our households, and it makes our life easy. However, what do we do with that time that was spent when we had to focus more, right? We had to walk places. We had to wash our dishes by hand. There was no dishwashers. Adversity, struggle, challenge, and we rose to it. We rise to the challenges that we give ourselves, and we fall to the things that we don't. So give yourself some challenges today. Go through and write down all the areas in your life where you have a very plush situation. Maybe you have parents that love you. Maybe you have a good workplace. Maybe you have, kids that are obedient or whatever, right? You can go through all the things. You have a car that can go from A to B. You have food in the fridge, whatever, right? Write down everything and then start to see where you can give yourself more challenge. Instead of going to the grocery store to get your food, why not start a garden? That's going to be more struggling, right? It's going to be more challenge for you. Good. Adversity leads to growth. Maybe your gym is only a half a mile away. Walk to the gym. Walk to the grocery store. Carry the bags or cart the bags. You can do this. I'm not saying it's efficient, but you're going to find that you grow a lot more. Don't worry about the time. If it takes an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, don't worry about the time. Worry about the moments that you're going through something painful or hard or difficult, something uncomfortable. Those uncomfortable moments can help you. Now, again, uncomfortable being a good uncomfortable. You don't want like uncomfortable, like your hand is like being pressed under a boulder. Okay. That's not a good thing. You want things like, okay, I'm huffing and I'm puffing because I'm getting my steps in. I'm going outside and I'm walking to the grocery store, to the corner store, or I'm doing the things that I know I can do by hand versus having a machine do it for me. It sounds crazy, but this is going to create a stronger you, a stronger society, and then a stronger world. And if you have any questions, again, on adversity, if you're struggling through how you can get more potential out of yourself, this is going to be a key aspect. And then you can also reach out to us here at Reven Concepts and then begin to dive deep into the mindset of adversity and how it can help you be more than what you are today. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I'll see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.